Hello, my name is Debbie and this is Pouring My Art Out for the Lord, and I want to show you a project today to make these collage strips. And they're kind of modeled after what Tim Holtz released just a little bit ago. He had these collage strips that they're kind of ready-made, and then you just buy them and cut them apart and use them in your projects. And they look really neat. But I wanted my own take on it because I wanted my own faith images on these ones. So I set about trying this myself, and there's been lots of other people that have jumped on and tried this as well. So check them out too if you're interested in this type of thing. I think they look really neat. You can use them afterwards for belly bands, tucks. You can cut them apart and do little collages just on a page. You know, you can use them kind of like a snippet strip. Some of them, this one is horizontal, so you can use it, you know, cut it somewhere maybe and make a pocket, or lots and lots of different uses for them. You can use them for cover images, to have basically a big part of your journal cover done. So I'm going to show you how I make my version. I did this two kind of main ways. I first started with, I just cut, well, this was coffee dyed paper and this was just white paper. So either one, if you use the coffee dyed paper and you get a little bit of gap here and there, it's not going to be as noticeable, but pretty much you cover the whole thing anyway. So, but I would recommend probably using a lightweight paper, just a regular copy paper, because after you've got all your layers on here, you don't want it to be like super thick and cardboardish. So just something really lightweight. Then I made some more, and I used some, it's actually craft paper tape, I guess. I bought this large roll at a thrift store for $2.99 for this whole roll. It's probably a lifetime supply. And it's not sticky on the roll, but it's, after it gets wet, it's super sticky. So what I was doing is, and I'll show you in a minute, but I was just using a sponge to wet it and then putting down my papers, and then I didn't need to use any glue, and it was a nice color. Like this is just the craft paper showing through, and it just blends really nicely with the project. Same here. There's a little bit in lots of these. So I made them horizontal, I made them vertical. So I'm just going to show you my process of how I make these. The first step is just to get your base layer of background papers on. So here's my craft tape. I'm going to use this, and I want a strip about 8 inches. I don't want too long because it's not going to fit into my journal page then. This one is a little bit over 8. Well, 8 on the shortest part, 8.5 on the other part. So I'll just cut a couple of them. Maybe I'll make one 9, because then I can trim off the ends and make a complete belly band. And I'll make one more about 4. And I'll do that one for a horizontal one, and I can use that for a pocket or something. So I don't have a sponge handy right this minute, so I'm just going to use this, it's kind of like a mini mister, to wet it. And then I've just got some random pieces of, this is just kind of left over from my project, from my previous collage strips. So I'm just going to basically wet this area. If you were using glue, you would just get some, just run some glue stick over it. So I'm just going to line that up like that. Then I might want a bit of an image. So I'm going to do this promises here. And then sponge is probably a better idea because it doesn't get quite as wet, but then I'll do another bit of paper here. I think actually I want this one a bit narrower. So I'll just put that on like that. Then I would like, since I have promises here, I thought it would be kind of neat to have this young married couple there. And then I have room for another piece of paper. Maybe I'll use that. And there we go. That's the base of our collage. And now we can fill up these areas, or we can just leave them blank, and that just adds to kind of the eclectic charm. So yeah, I think this spray bottle is probably not the greatest idea because it's actually making my paper wet here too. Anyway, I thought this would be all right because probably you guys are going to be using glue anyway. So there's the start of my strip. So then the next thing I want to do is just put a few elements on. So tickets, this is a vocabulary, actually a flashcard I think I call it. There's one of my tickets, another flashcard. Another ticket flashcard. This one has a circle on it. This one I even have still two elements sticking up, which is kind of interesting as well. And there's tickets and flashcards in there. And tickets. So let me just grab a couple of things and we'll add some dimension to this. So I found a couple of bits and pieces that I thought would work well on here. So I've got a ticket that says "Sing to the Lord Always." I'm just going to glue that at the top here. Just kind of overlapping the photo a little bit and add a bit of a diagonal just for a little more interest. This one is a sepia picture of a bride, so I'm going to use that one there. And I just like to bring this red out a little bit, so I thought I might bring the red out. Maybe just there. And this ticket says "Born Again, 1853." And then this sentiment is too wide for my project, so I'm just going to snip it in half. And it says, "It is well with my soul." And I think I'll just do that. Kind of crisscrossed across here like this, so there's a part of it. And how do I want this one? That or like that? Like that. I don't want it super close to the edge, the words, because I am going to stitch there and I don't want the words to get obliterated there. So there's that one. I'm just going to put that one aside for a minute, and then when it dries completely a little bit, that this is still sticky, I'm going to do a bit of stamping. So we'll work on another one, and this one is our little horizontal one. So let me just give that one a bit of a spray. I'll do it before I get any paper in the way here this time. They get really, it's really sticky tape. I'm not really sure what it is actually used for, but it is so sticky, which is great for this kind of project. So I'm not even sure what I'm going to do here, so I'll just take a piece and do that. Lots of my images from the Faith Basics work well. This one says peace, faith, grace. How about grace? grace right there. I want to kind of make that one straight. Okay. And then I have a little bit of a space for another paper over here. I'll use that one. And then I think I might on this one just cover up this part here. So just like that, and then I'll turn it over and trim that off. All right, and then I can find another little ticket or something to put onto there. It already has a bit of a word. What do I have in my tickets folder here? Mercy, that might look nice, or faith. This has grace on it as well. Do I want two grace? That might look okay. Let's see. You never know until you try. So, yeah, I actually like that. So just ink the edge a little bit on that one. These ones I have to glue because my sticky paper is all covered now, which is fine. And maybe some little thing here as well. I don't know if I want a ticket. This one says blessings. This one is vertical. Let's see what that might look like. Or is that too much? I think that's too much. How about just maybe a word? I have grace there, but I could cover that up. I have a grace and peace here. Let me see what I can do with that. This is just kind of a mindless, fun little project that is nice to just do on an afternoon where you don't want to think too much, and you know, just get out your supplies. If you have the Faith Basics bundle, you can just get all of your pieces out, and if you have them organized even in something like this, get all your pieces out and just dump them out and start playing, and it's just a lot of fun. So if I do that, it's going to cover up the other grace, but I have this grace and this grace, so that would be good. I think that would work well. So this would be a good pocket. So I'm just going to cover up that little grace with some bigger grace. Isn't that what we all want? More grace. Grace and peace. There we go. So there's our second one. And then the third one, I just wanted to show you. I took my kit with distressed papers, and this is all 10 of the papers, and I just made them into some strips. They're different widths of strips. So if you buy the distressed papers, or if you buy the bundle with the distressed papers in it, I'll include this page as well. So this is kind of the cheap way of doing it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, do I want to just make a really, I might just make a really long one here, and then I can trim it off to make different pieces. So this will be 11 inches because it's the whole length of the paper there. So I'll just cut this at 11 inches. And I'll move my paper out of the way to get it wet here. Where's my little spray bottle? Here it is. Okay, so when it's wet, it's not sticky. It's just as it starts drying, it gets super sticky. So then what I'm going to do is turn this over, and I'm just going to line this up at the bottom here. And press that on. And you could do this with a strip of paper and glue too. You don't need this kind of tape. I just have it, and I have a lot of it, and I thought I might as well use it. So I saw someone else using this sort of thing. I think it was Corey Dahman. So it must be available still. I'm not even sure what department it would be in. I don't know what it would be used for. I really don't know. But I'll have to maybe take a boo at looking up and see if I can find something. So now we have our background papers completely on. So now we can put some images wherever we want. And we already have the background, so it doesn't really matter where we put things. So I've got tons more of these in my pages there, but maybe I'll do like, trying to think, this is probably going to be too tall, so I'll probably end up being in 2 strips anyways. But I have the church, and I have prayer, and then I have hope at the top there. These ones I think I'm just going to give a little bit of an ink to. I don't really need it on the outside edge, but on the inner edges here, because I'll do inking around the whole thing at the end. Some of these are just printed on paper, some of them are on a lightweight cardstock, most of these are just on paper, which works well for this because you don't want it to get too thick. So I'm just going to glue on those images. I've never tried it with this strip of paper before, so I thought it might just work for a little shortcut. We'll see how that goes. I just love these background papers. They're different colors, just layers and layers and layers of different elements and distressing that I put on them just using Photoshop. And I played with them over and over and over again, just layering and layering and all the colors, and I just love how they look. So it's kind of indistinct now. It just sort of blends in, kind of. So we need a few things to kind of pop out some of those images now. I don't know if this one might blend in a little too much too. Let's see. No, actually I kind of like that one. So just give that a bit of an ink. And that can live something like that. What else do I have? I can use one of my flashcards here maybe. Do I have those out? Yes, I do. What do I have in here? Or I could use my Scrabble tiles. Maybe I'll use my Scrabble tiles. Worship. Promises. Cross. I don't want a super long word. I also have these guys. That might look kind of cool too. Let's see, regeneration. I like that. I think I'll use that. Just round off the corners. I could use my corner rounder, but Just for one piece like that, it's just as easy to use your scissors. Give it a bit of an ink. And regeneration. I want it that way or this way. I think I want it that way. And I need something maybe up here. What else do I have? Wouldn't mind something dark up here. I could have something like that just cut it off. I think I might do that. I could grab out one of my banners too, because the banners are thin widthwise and I wouldn't have to trim it off, but I thought this might look kind of neat. And you don't have to use these images all in one piece. You can cut them up and use little bits and pieces. So I'm just gonna trim that one off and see what that looks like. Yeah, I like that. So this one I think is going to go here. And this one was going to go on this side. Which way did I have it? Maybe this way. Regeneration. And that's probably good for that one for now. So we have our 3 that we just worked on. Where did I put them? So I have this one, and I have this one, and I have this one. So I'm just going to grab a couple of stamps and I'll be right back, and let's put some stamping on here. So let's just do a little bit of stamping here. I just have my black soot distress ink here. And a circle always looks good on these things, so I'm just going to make probably a circle on each of them, maybe even 2 on that one, and on here. I did, as I was tidying up, I found this scripture reference red label, and I thought this one still needed something, so I cut it in half and I put it over there. So I think that brightened that up a little bit. Here's a large number 3, which I think would look good in some of the empty spaces. So I'll just try that there. Maybe here. And do I need one here? Maybe right there. So there's that. And this is a little kind of a scripty label that maybe could come off the edge somewhere here and there. Oops. Don't be too much. It probably almost has too much now. Let's see. There. And then here's one that's just, it says 6 1/4 cents, and it's just a little bolder one, which is kind of nice to have little bits of boulder type here and there. It just kind of livens it up a little bit. So there's that one. And this one, I could dig out more stamps, but if I was doing a whole bunch of these, I probably would, but I'm really just doing these 3 at this point, so I thought that would be good. So there's our 3 collage strips so far. And then the next step would be to sew them. So I'm just going to sew, because I don't know if I'm going to cut off the edges or not. I'm just going to sew on this one top and bottom, and these ones on the 2 sides. And then if I end up cutting it, I could, like this one, maybe if I use it as a pocket, this one maybe I will sew all 4 edges. But these ones, if you end up cutting it and then using it, you can add another stitch then, or something different. So let me just quickly go sew them and I'll be right back. So I sewed all three and I inked around the edges, and I think they look really nice. So here's the first one that we did. And lots of just, interesting things to look at, and on a journal page I think it'll look fabulous. And this was the horizontal one that we made. So this one is a little bit more neutral based, but you could make it into a little pocket, or maybe a horizontal belly band even. Lots of different uses for these things. Here's the one with the cheap background that we already had the paper strips together on our page, and we just put it down in one piece, and I think that looks really good too. So if you want, go give that a try. If you have the distressed paper kit, or by itself or in the bundle, I'll include that extra strip page so you can do this cheap version as well. If you haven't looked at the kits or the bundles, go over to Coffee Shop and have a look. I'm having a special for the month of September 2023 that if you purchase $10 you can get a bonus, and $20 you can get a second bonus. So and I've bundled them. They're very inexpensive by themselves, but I've bundled them and made them even less expensive. So if you want to take advantage of that, go ahead and do that. And it's just really nice to have all these faith basics in different, the tickets and the sentiments and the tags and everything, just all at your fingertips, that you can just quickly make something like this. You don't have to think very much. It's just all at your fingertips. So thanks for watching, guys, and blessings. We'll see you in the next video.